Representative Boyle, one issue our state is working on this new year also is making sure Pennsylvania roads are a bit safer, not just for pedestrians, but also other drivers.
Right.
And we all know that accidents increase when people are driving while distracted, more specifically when they're texting while they're driving or talking on a handheld cell phone. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what our General Assembly is doing to help crack down on that?
Well, we have some exciting news on that front. We've had a real problem recently with people who are texting while they're driving. And studies show that if you are texting while you're driving, you are 23 times more likely to be in a car accident. There have been numerous cases all throughout Pennsylvania, from Philadelphia to Erie, Scranton to Pittsburgh, and all places in between. We've had a real epidemic of serious car accidents and fatalities that are the result of a distracted driver who was texting, and sure enough took their eyes off the road. Car goes off the side of the road or bangs into another car, or pedestrians are hit and killed. So in the State House just recently, we overwhelmingly passed a bill on a bipartisan basis that would ban this sort of distracted driving behaviors, such as texting or speaking on a handheld cell phone. So that bill now goes to the state Senate, where I'm confident and optimistic that it'll be voted on. This is something that I've heard from constituents about it, and overwhelmingly the population supports cracking down on those who are texting while driving and doing participating in other sorts of behaviors that would lead them to take their eyes off the road.
That's right. It's a safety issue. And the House passed it by 189 to 6, so they received overwhelming support. And I understand the governor said that he would sign this bill in its current form if it hits his desk in its current form.
Yes, that's correct. And, you know, it is very important that we have one statewide standard. I happen to live in and represent Philadelphia, which moved ahead and banned the use of cell phones, handheld cell phones while driving. I know the city of Harrisburg has done the same thing. That when you have, while I support that ban and understand why those municipalities took the lead, because the state up until recently had been refusing to take the lead on this issue. At the same time, it does make it difficult if you're on a trip and say you're going from Northeast Philadelphia to Neshaminy Mall, which is in Bucks County, or then you go over to Abington and Montgomery County.
It gets confusing with the different
rules. That
rules.
is only to go from my house in Northeast Philadelphia to Neshaminy Mall to Willow Grove Mall. That's about a 15-minute trip. Yet you can tell we go to a lot of malls in my household. But at any rate, that's a totally different TV
Do you
show.
like to shop?
I'll make that the next show. But that's only a 15-minute trip, and yet you just went into 3 different counties, and you crossed in about 5 or 6 different municipalities. If every county has their own driving law, that would make it enormously difficult and just not practical for the driver if you're now encountering the laws in Lower Southampton Township versus Upper Moreland Township in Montgomery County versus the laws in Philadelphia. So we really do need one logical statewide standard. I applaud those municipalities that saw the state wasn't acting. They took the lead. But it's now really time for us to get this finished at the state level, to get one statewide standard, as I mentioned, and to really crack down on driving while distracted. A number of heartbreaking tragedies that we've had here throughout Pennsylvania. It affects urban areas, suburban areas, and rural areas. And it's a particular problem among teen drivers who are driving for the first time and then can't resist the temptation to text. There have just been too many tragedies the last couple of years, and this is something we can do to combat that.
Absolutely. And then not only does it get confusing with the different laws, but there are also different fines. And I know Philly started their fines in December of 2009, and it's $75 for drivers who are caught driving while distracted, texting, or talking on a handheld cell phone. And they've issued about 3,000 tickets so far.
Right.
So hopefully the rest of the state will follow Philly's lead. But let's take a break and get some more information on exactly what this bill would do to help make our roads safer if it becomes law.
This is Eye on Pennsylvania, a bi-weekly look at Pennsylvania politics from the House Democratic Caucus.
Hi, I'm Faith Camp, and welcome to Eye on Pennsylvania. Studies show that a substantial number of vehicle accidents are caused by this: talking on handheld cell phones or texting while driving. But some House Democrats are working to make distracted driving a thing of the past.
We are all one text from eternity.
A driver using a handheld cell phone or texting while driving is driving more recklessly than a drunk driver.
A Virginia Tech transportation study and reports from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found that drivers who talk on their handheld cell phone are 3 to 4 times more likely to be involved in a crash, and drivers who text are 23 times more likely to be involved in a crash.
I think most people now have seen an accident occur or have been the victims of an accident or have just barely avoided an accident as a result of this. I've met J.C. Good from Lancaster, a young woman who lost her entire family. On the day she graduated from Muhlenberg on her way home, they were all killed when a motorist struck her car as a result of someone texting while driving.
Representative Joseph Markozik, who is chairman of the House Transportation Committee, is the prime sponsor of a bill that would ban all drivers from texting while driving and novice drivers from texting and talking on a handheld cell phone. With the approval of Representative Shapiro's amendment, the bill now would ban all drivers, not just beginners, from texting and talking on a handheld cell phone. Under the bill, police officers could issue tickets to drivers for $50 for violating these rules. But if the violation happens in a school zone, active work zone, or emergency area, the fine would be $100. If the bill becomes law, distracted driving would become a primary offense, meaning police officers would not need a reason other than distracted driving to pull over a motorist. Representative Markozik's bill does make some exceptions.
A driver can use the device if the vehicle is stopped due to traffic being obstructed, and the driver has the motor vehicle's transmission in neutral or park, or the engine shut off.
There also would be exceptions for someone making an emergency call to 911. Some of the money from the fines would go towards the Department of Transportation's driver's education programs.
Most of the money will go to PennDOT, and they have to, they're obliged, I believe in 6 months under the bill, to set up an educational program using those funds to educate folks about the dangers of texting and distracted driving.
The bill overwhelmingly passed the House and now awaits Senate action. Reporting from Harrisburg, I'm Faith Camp.